3, 2, 1, 0.
Good morning to my fellow members, Secretariat, technical personnel who prepares the program of work. Good morning. Today, August 12, 2025, is the 30th conference for World Goods and Services, particularly for Combat ID number 25 GPJ 16. But before we start, may I request everyone to please stand for the opening prayer.
Loving Heavenly Father, we come to you this hour asking for your blessing and help as we are gathered together. We pray for guidance in the matters at hand and ask that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with a spirit of joy and enthusiasm. Give us the desire to find ways to excel in our work. Help us to work together and encourage each other to excellence. We ask that we would challenge each other to reach higher and farther to be the best we can be. We ask this in the name of the Lord. Amen.
Please be seated. May I request the Secretariat to please show in our video screen the invited observers for today's webinar conference. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. From the selection of official observer of DPWH Presidency CSOs for contracting by GPG 16, the selected official observer is the Philippine Partnership for the Development of Human Resources in Rural Areas, or the PHIP. And for goods is the PCCI. And is also chair for our selection of our official observer.
Thank you, Joseph. Engineer Joseph Rigada, the Assistant Head of the Procurement Staff. Did we send invitation to this observers?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we sent an invitation to first Sir Alejandro Joel Oraca, State Auditor, Audit Commission Audit, a letter dated August 5, 2025, was duly received by OWA last August 6, 2025. And our second observer is Caridad Corridor, the National Coordinator of Philippines Partnerships for the Development of Human Resources in Rural Areas or the Bdry. A letter dated August 5, 2025 was sent. Invitation to sit as observer for 125 2016 last Wednesday, August 6, 2025 at 4:16 in the afternoon. And our last observer is also Ilumina Imangyo, the President of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or the PCCI. A letter dated August 5, 2025 was sent. Invitation to sit as observer last Wednesday, August 6, 2025 at 4:51 in the afternoon. And that is all, Mr. Chair, for our invitation to our divisional observers.
Once again, thank you very much, Engineer Joseph Rigada. It seems that our invited observers are not present this morning, but I hope they are watching us now in our YouTube live presentation. May I ask again the Secretariat for the attendance if we have a quorum for today's procurement activity. Consent, please.
Everyone, I would like to proceed to the roll call of attendance. The back members. Engineer Danilo A. Bernabé, back chairperson.
Present.
Engineer Ferdinand D. F. Bayanos, back vice chairperson. The back regular members. Ma'am Grace B. Sanchez. Engineer Christopher M. Balasha.
Present.
and Engineer Harvey Rex L. Lopez. The back provisional members, Engineer Herbert F. Agudelo, Engineer Yandre A. Hina, and Engineer Noel P. Amador Jr. The back secretariat members, yours truly, Joseph E. Degan, Engineer Cindy Delmas E. Valdez,
Present.
Sir Belmar P. Querido, Ma'am Gretchen R. Infanta, Ma'am Vivian Zenaida I. Bulan,
Present.
and Sir Mario Roy M. Taho. And we have a representative from the implementing unit or from the maintenance section. We have Engineer Andre S. De La Cruz. Therefore, Mr. Chair, majority of the attendance of our Rigs and Wars Committee today are present. Therefore, Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you again, Engineer Joseph Tigana. Since we have a quorum, the fact chair now declares that the credit conference this morning is now officially in order. Allow me to read the agenda for today's credit conference. Number 1, basic contract data. This will be discussed by Engineer Andre de la Cruz. Second agenda, questions, comments, or queries from leaders and the press of BAC and other representatives of the procuring entity. Number 3 agenda, requirements of bidding documents. This will be presented to us by Engineer Joseph Rigala, the Assistant Head of the Procurement Staff. Number 4 agenda, documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposal. For this agenda, we have an audio recorded to be played by the Secretariat. Number 5 agenda, proposed amendments if there is any. Number 6 agenda, criteria and procedure for the preliminary examination of the bids, detailed evaluation of bids, cost qualification, and award. For this particular agenda, again, we have a audio recorded to be played. Number 7 agenda, other matters in our announcement if there is any. And the last agenda, the summary of proceedings, including bid bulletins and our agenda to be issued if there is any. But before we proceed to the agenda proper, may I request the Secretariat to please play the audio recorded for Section 22 of 2016 Revised Implementing Rules and Regulations of RA 9184 and the latest GPPP issuances. Secretariat, please.
Section 22, Pre-bid Conference. Section 22.1, for contracts to be bid with an ABC of 1 million pesos or more, the bank shall convene at least one pre-bid conference to clarify and or explain any of the requirements, terms, conditions, and specifications stipulated in the bidding documents. For contracts to be bid with an ABC of less than 1 million pesos, pre-bid conferences may be conducted at the discretion of the bank. Subject to the approval of the bank, a pre-bid conference may also be conducted upon written request of any prospective bidder. Section 22.2, the pre-bid conference shall be held at least 12 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids, but not earlier than 7 calendar days from the PhilJEP's posting. Section 22.3, the pre-bid conference shall discuss, clarify, and explain, among other things, the eligibility requirements and the technical and financial components of the contract to be bid, including questions and clarifications raised by the prospective bidders before and during the pre-bid conference. Section 22.4, the minutes of the pre-bid conference shall be recorded and prepared not later than 5 calendar days after the pre-bid conference, and shall be made available to prospective bidders not later than 5 days upon written request. Decisions of the bank amending any provision of the bidding documents shall be issued in writing through a supplement or bid bulletin at least 7 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. Section 22.5 Supplemental / Bid Bulletin Section 22.5.1 Request for clarifications on any part of the bidding documents or for an interpretation must be in writing and submitted to the bank of the procuring entity concerned at least 10 calendar days before the deadline set for the submission and receipt of bids. Section 22.5.2 for purposes of clarifying or modifying any provision of the bidding documents, supplemental or bid bulletins may be issued upon the procuring entity's initiative at least 7 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. Any modification to the bidding documents shall be identified as an amendment. Section 22.5.3 any supplemental / bid bulletin issued by the bank shall also be posted in the PhilJex, the website of the procuring entity concerned, if available, and at any conspicuous place within the premises of the procuring entity. It shall be the responsibility of all those who have properly secured the bidding documents to inquire and secure supplemental or bid bulletins that may be issued by the bank. However, bidders who have submitted bids before the issuance of the supplemental or bid bulletin must be informed and allowed to modify or withdraw their bids in accordance with Section 26 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA 9184.
That is all, Mr. Chair, for Section 22 credit conference.
Thank you, Secretary. We now go to the agenda number. Number 1 is the basic contract data to be discussed by Engineer Andre. Andre, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the basic contract data under goods and services for contract ID 25/2016, name of contract, repairs/maintenance of various national roads, selected concrete reblocking, Aritao-Quirino, S00883 LZ, kilometer 257 plus 300 to kilometer 290.527, Intermittent section. Bambang-Kasibu, kilometer 281 plus 950 to kilometer 285, 322.5, Intermittent section. National Road, Rd-Bitnong-Belance-NV, Nueva Vizcaya, S060 21 LZ, kilometer 259 plus 260 to kilometer 271 plus 777, Intermittent section. Location of the contract. Various roads within Nueva Vizcaya, second DEO jurisdiction. Approved budget for the contract, 1,197,609 pesos. Scope of works, repairs/maintenance of various national roads. Contract duration, 14 calendar days. Cost of bidding documents, 5,000 pesos. Source of fund, GAA FY 2025. Date of bidding, August 27, 2025. For the item description, 2,191 tons for land cement, 231 cubic meters coarse aggregates, 127 cubic meters fine aggregates, 379 linear meters in force, 78 kilograms weight for 60 bar, 225 meters curing compound, and 125 meters asphalt cement. That's all.
Okay, Secretary, do we have any question, comments, or queries from our viewers?
None, Mr. Chair.
There is none. Pakibalik mo doon. Okay, from the maintenance section. Ano yung specification ng ordinance niya? Kailangan may ilagay sa natin. Yung course applicate, anong section? Yung reinforcing steel bars, anong grade yun? Kung kalimutan nyo yung yakang bigay. And then yung asphalt sealant. Ano yung grade yung asphalt sealant? Type 1 ba yung Portland Cement? Type 1B? From Chief of the Maintenance Section, ano yung Portland Cement natin doon? Type 1, Type 1B, Type 1. Pwede yung i-ano mo yan? I-edit mo dyan?
Wait lang, sir.
Pwede pang i-edit dyan?
Pwede po mag-insert, sir.
Or isama na lang doon sa bulletin? Okay, for the information of everyone. Doon sa bulletin na lang siguro, kasi sinasabi yung representative ng maintenance kanina regarding the title of the project. And then yung cost aggregate, anong size ba yun? 2 inches? Passing 2 inches? Okay lang kasi specify. And then yung fine aggregates, 3/8, passing 3/8. And then yung reinforcing steel bars, grade 40. Yung asphalt sealant natin, long asphalt or hot asphalt? Asphalt, 67.
Ay, slash.
Okay? So, that will be still one part of those big bulletin natin. Okay? So, we go now to agenda number 3, which is requirements of bidding documents. Agenda number 3 will be presented to us by Engineer Joseph Bigala. Joseph, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the requirements of the bidding documents for 125 GPJ16 in the form of bidding machine. IBB clause 5.3. The bidder must have completed a single contract that is similar to this project, equivalent to at least 25% of the ABC. For this purpose, contracts similar to the project shall be A. The similar contract refers to repair/maintenance of various national roads, and B. Completed within 1 year prior to the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. ITB clause 7.1, subcontracting is not allowed. ITB clause 12, the price of the goods shall be quoted immediately within the province of Nueva Vizcaya for this project. The bidder shall bid on all items to be bid. Price quoted shall include taxes. ITB clause 40.1, the bid security shall be in the form of a bid security declaration or any of the following forms and amounts. A. The amount of not less than 2% of ABC, if security is in cash, cashier's or manager's check, bank draft or guarantee, or a revocable letter of credit. Or B. The amount of not less than 5% of ABC, if bid security is in surety bond. ITB clause 19.3, the ABC is 1,197,609 pesos. Any bid with a financial component exceeding the ABC shall not be accepted. ITB clause 20.1, no other licenses and permits are required. ITB clause 21.1, no additional contract documents are required. And that is all, Mr. Chair, for the requirements of the bidding documents.
Okay, thank you, Joseph. We go now to agenda number 4, which is the documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposals. Again, for this particular agenda, we have an audio recorder to be played in our visual screen. Secretariat, please.
Requirements for technical and financial documents, procurement for goods and services. 1. Technical component envelope. Class A documents. Legal documents. A. Valid field judge registration certificate, platinum membership, all pages, in accordance with section 8.5.2 of the IR. Technical documents. B. Statement of the prospective bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. And C. Statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract or SLCC similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided for in sections 23.4.1.3 and 23.4.2.4 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA number 9184 within the relevant period as provided in the bidding documents, and the original copy of bid security. If in the form of a surety bond, submit also a certification issued by the Insurance Commission, or original copy of notarized bid security declaration, and E. Conformity with the technical specifications, which may include production/delivery schedule, manpower requirements, and/or after-sales/parts, if applicable, and F. Original duly signed omnibus sworn statement or OSS, and if applicable, original notarized secretary certificate in case of a corporation, partnership, or cooperative, or original special power of attorney, SPA, of all members of the joint venture giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the OSS and do acts to represent the bidder. Financial documents. G. The prospective bidder's computation of net financial contracting capacity or NFCC, or a committed line of credit from a universal or commercial bank in lieu of its NFCC computation. Class B documents. H. If applicable, a duly signed joint venture agreement or JVA in case the joint venture is already in existence, or duly notarized statements from all the potential joint venture partners stating that they will enter into and abide by the provisions of the JVA in the instance that the bid is successful. 2. Financial component envelope. I. Original of duly signed and accomplished financial bid form, and J. Original of duly signed and accomplished price schedules. Other documentary requirements under RA number 9184 as applicable. K. Certification from the DTI if the bidder claims preference as a domestic bidder or domestic entity.
And that is all, Mr. Chair, for the documents to be submitted by the review.
Okay, thank you, Secretariat. We go now to agenda number 5, proposed amendments. Do we have any amendments to the basic contract data?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I have observed the contract name is inappropriate because the payment that's referring to is individual. So I would suggest we add to the title the term supply and delivery of construction materials for the repair/maintenance of various national roads. This project is a procurement of goods. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Okay, well noted, Mayor. So, Secretariat, please take note that we're going to prepare amendments relative to the name of the contract. Dadagdagan siya ng supply and delivery. And then the same na yung title. Kasi, na-overlook lang natin. Yung title kasi kung babasahin mo is pertaining to a civil works. But the contract is for goods and services. So, madadagdagan siya ng supply and delivery for the repair or maintenance of various national roads selected from the Reblocking, Aritao-Quirino Road, Bambang-Kasibu Road, Junction National Road, DPWH Nueva Vizcaya Boundary Road, and Intermittent section. Okay, so we go now to agenda number 6, which is the criteria and procedure for the preliminary examination of the bids, detailed evaluation of bids, cost qualification, and award. For this particular agenda, we have an auto recorded, and may I request again the Secretariat to please make the auto recorded for agenda number 6. Secretariat, please.
Detailed bid evaluation. For the procurement of goods, the purpose of bid evaluation is to determine the lowest calculated bid using the following steps. 1. The bank shall immediately conduct a detailed evaluation of all bids using non-discretionary criteria, considering the following. A. Completeness of the bid. Unless the instructions to bidders specifically allow partial bids, bids not addressing or providing all of the required items in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, bill of quantities, shall be considered non-responsive and, thus, automatically disqualified. In this regard, where a required item is provided, but no price is indicated, the same shall be considered as non-responsive, but specifying a zero or dash for the said item would mean that it is being offered for free to the government, and B. Arithmetical corrections. Correct computational errors and omissions to enable proper comparison of all eligible bids. It may also consider bid modifications if expressly allowed in the bidding documents. Any adjustment shall be calculated in monetary terms to determine the calculated prices. 2. The bank shall evaluate all bids on an equal footing to ensure fair and competitive bid comparison. For this purpose, all bidders shall be required to include the cost of all taxes, such as, but not limited to, value-added tax or VAT, income tax, local taxes, and other fiscal levies and duties which shall be itemized in the bid form and reflected in the detailed estimates. Such bids, including said taxes, shall be the basis for bid evaluation and comparison. 3. In case of discrepancies between A. Bid prices in figures and in words, the latter shall prevail. B. Total price of the item and unit price of the item as extended or multiplied by the quantity of that item, the latter shall prevail. C. Stated total price and the actual sum of prices of component items, the latter shall prevail. D. Unit cost in the detailed estimate and unit cost in the bill of quantities, the latter shall prevail. 4. Bids shall then be ranked in the ascending order of their total calculated bid prices, as evaluated and corrected for computational errors and other bid modifications, to identify the lowest calculated bid. Total calculated bid prices, as evaluated and corrected for computational errors and other bid modifications, which exceed the ABC shall be disqualified.
Post-qualification. Objective and process of post-qualification. 1. The lowest calculated bid shall undergo post-qualification to determine whether the bidder concerned complies with and is responsive to all the requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents. 2. Within 5 calendar days from receipt by the bidder of the notice from the Bids and Awards Committee that the bidder has the lowest calculated bid, the bidder shall submit to the Bids and Awards Committee its latest income and business tax returns, and other appropriate licenses and permits required by law and stated in the bidding documents. Failure to submit any of the post-qualification requirements on time, or a finding against the veracity thereof, shall disqualify the bidder for award, provided that in the event that a finding against the veracity of any of the documents submitted is made, it shall cause the forfeiture of the bid security in accordance with Section 69 of the 2016 Revised Implementing Rules and Regulations, IRR, of Republic Act Number 9184. 3. The post-qualification shall verify, validate, and ascertain the veracity, authenticity, and validity of all the Class A eligibility documents supporting the PhilJEP Certificate of Registration and Membership in accordance with Section 8.5.2 of the 2016 Revised IRR of RA number 9184, and all the other statements made and documents submitted by the bidder with the lowest calculated bid using non-discretionary criteria, as stated in the bidding documents. These criteria shall consider, but shall not be limited to, the following. A. Legal requirements. To verify, validate, and ascertain licenses, certificates, permits, and agreements submitted by the bidder, and the fact that it is not included in any blacklist as provided in section 25.3 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA number 9184. For this purpose, the GPPB shall maintain a consolidated file of all blacklisted suppliers, contractors, and consultants. B. Technical requirements. To determine compliance of the goods offered with the requirements specified in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, I. Verification and/or inspection and testing of the goods/product, after sales and/or maintenance capabilities in applicable cases, as well as checking the following. A. Delay in the partial delivery of goods amounting to 10% of the contract price in its ongoing government and private contracts. B. If any of these contracts shows the bidder's failure to deliver or perform any or all the goods or services within the period specified in the contract or within any extension thereof granted by the procuring entity pursuant to a request made by the supplier prior to the delay, and such failure amounts to at least 10% of the contract price. C. Unsatisfactory performance of the supplier's obligations as per contract terms and conditions at the time of inspection. If the bank verifies any of these deficiencies to be due to the bidder's fault or negligence, the bank shall disqualify the bidder from the award for the procurement of goods. 2. Ascertainment of the authenticity of the bid security and its correctness as to type, amount, form, and wording, and validity period as required in the bidding documents. C. Financial requirements. To verify, validate, and ascertain the bid price proposal of the bidder and, whenever applicable, the required committed line of credit in the amount specified and over the period stipulated in the bidding documents or the bidder's NFCC to ensure that the bidder can sustain the operating cash flow of the transaction. The determination of the lowest calculated and responsive bid, or LCRB, is guided by sections 34.4 to 34.8 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA number 9184. The Bids and Awards Committee will recommend to the award of contract to the bidder with the LCRB in accordance with section 37 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA number 9184, which outlines the procedures for the notice and execution of award.
And that is all, Mr. Chair, for the criteria and procedure for the examination of legal and execution of award.
Thank you again, Engineer Josan Tigana. We go now to agenda number 7, which is other matters and announcement with various names.
For the announcement, for reminders, we have a document meeting opening of bids on August 19, 2025 at 9 p.m. here in the conference room of DPWH Nueva Vizcaya's second meeting for one goods and services project with contract ID number 25GBJ. And the second procurement activity, opening of bids on August 27, 2025 at 9 a.m. here in conference room for one goods and services project with contract ID number 25GBJ16. And that is all, Mr. Chair, for the announcement and reminders.
Once again, thank you, Engineer Josan Tigana. We go now to the last agenda, which is the summary of proceedings, including key bulletins, attendance to be issued with various names. We have already discussed all the agenda of the previous conference, and we have a big bulletin for this particular goods and services, particularly in the name of the project, wherein the name of the contract, an additional wordings of supply and delivery for the repair and maintenance of various national roads. That will be the corrected name for contract ID number 25GBJ16. And also, we're going to include some specification for the required materials, particularly for the cement. This Portland cement, but it will be type 1 or type 1B. The course aggregate is 2 inches passing sheet number 2. The fan aggregate is passing sheet 3A. The reinforced steel bars is grade 40. And the asphalt sealant will be hot asphalt 60 all over 70. Grade 60 all over 70. Okay, that's all. Any announcement from my fellow MAC members? There is none. So, do I hear a motion for adjournment or the president conference this morning?
Mr. Chair, we move to the adjournment of this procurement activity.
Any second the motion? There's been moved and seconded that the procurement activity this morning, particularly for the credit conference for contract ID number 25 GBJ 16, is now officially adjourned. Good morning, everyone, and also to our YouTube live viewers. Muli, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Meron na tayong